Did you know that some words have the same spellings but different pronunciation and meanings? Like for example, L-E-A-D means both the metal lead and to lead, right? We saw this in one of our previous videos. Make sure you check that out as well. Today we're going to continue this conversation and look at words which have same spellings but different meaning and pronunciations. Hi, I'm Ajit. I'm from Capshine. Capshine is a revolutionary Learn It Together English fluency program. With Capshine, learning English is easy, fun, quick, affordable, and effective, and we promise a whole new you in 6 months or less. Let's look at what these are. These are essentially heteronyms where the word has 2 different pronunciations and 2 different meanings. Let's start with the first set. How do you think this is pronounced? Well, one of the pronunciations is conduct, right? And you'd be right. Like for example, if I'm conducting a meeting or conducting an orchestra, I'm conducting something, right? And that is pronounced a different way as this. This is conduct. Notice the stress on the first syllable, conduct. Essentially, conduct is behavior, how you behave. You would have heard of code of conduct in your school or in your office, right? Rules that you have to abide by when you behave or how to behave. That's conduct. As opposed to conduct, notice how the stress is in the second syllable, conduct, where it's to coordinate or make something happen. To conduct a meeting, to conduct an orchestra, to conduct a conductor in a bus or a train, right? To conduct and conduct. Let's look at another one. C-O-N-T-E-S-T. You must be aware of contests, right? To participate in a contest. But that's a contest, right? Contest. But did you also know that if you pronounce it this way, contest, it means to fight against something, to say that no, what you're saying is wrong, I'm contesting it. For example, someone filed a lawsuit against you, you can contest that lawsuit in court and say, no, the person suing me is wrong. Contest, to go against, to reject. Contest, contest. What about this? How do you think this is pronounced? Well, one of the pronunciations is, well, let's look at the first one, right? Console. And as the image suggests, console is like a gaming console. Your PS4, PS5 is a console. Or an ATM machine is also technically a console, right? It's a equipment, or if it's a device that is of a particular form, and you can interact with it. That's essentially a console. So a gaming console is the most commonly used word for console, right? Notice the stress on con. On the other hand, if you console someone, what you're doing is you are making them feel better. You are essentially telling them everything is going to be fine, things are going to get better. You're consoling someone who is sad. Console versus console, right? Again, notice the pronunciation, console, console, right? And of course, C-O-N-V-E-R-S-E. On the one hand, it is to have a conversation. Converse, notice the stress on the second syllable, converse. But if it is converse, what that means is that it's the exact opposite of, right? It's a mirror image of. In school, you might have heard of the converse rule. If this is that, then the opposite must also be true. So it's a mirror image or the opposite of something. That is what converse means. Converse, to speak, converse, to be the mirror image of. Before we go into the next few words, let's talk a little bit about the 30-day free trial with Capshine. With this, you get speaking opportunities, you get to learn and practice as a group, you get a personal coach who gives you feedback and recommendation, and of course, daily challenges, micro lessons, and live classes that help you build your foundation and become a better and more confident user of the English language. Let's continue with our heteronyms, shall we? How do you think that is pronounced? Well, it depends. On the one side, that is compound, like a chemical compound, right? If you back in the day when medicines were dispensed, you had a compounder, right? Who would give you these medicines. These are compounds, chemical compounds. But on the other hand, if you've heard of investing money, you've always heard of compounding interest, right? the second syllable is stressed, compounding. So to compound is to increase exponentially, right? So you must have also heard of simple interest and compound interest. So that's what I'm talking about, compound. So it's not compound, it's compound. The pronunciation is in the second syllable. Compound is essentially a chemical substance. Let's look at the next one, shall we? N-U-M-B-E-R. You're all aware of this number, but have you thought about this number, right? Notice the missing B there, right? The B sound is not there, but it's still spelled N-U-M-B-E-R. What does this mean? Well, this essentially means numb, right? To not feel something, to not feel anything is numb. If you're feeling more of that, then you're feeling number. But it is spelled N-U-M-B-E-R. I'm feeling number than I was yesterday, right? Number. M-I-N-U-T. Can you think of the two different contexts where it can be used in? Well, one is time, a minute, right? A minute. On the other hand, it can also talk about something that's very small, minute, right? Minute. Notice the pronunciation change and also the stress change, minute, right? Something that's very small is minute. And of course, there's minute that we already know. What about this? This is very commonly misused and mispronounced. The second one at least. The first one is quite often correctly used. Resume, right? Let's resume the show, to pause and resume. Or let's resume the hiring, right? Whatever it is, to pause and then resume. But on the other hand, this is not a resume, this is a resume, right? Resume. Resumes are your curriculum vitae or your profile that you use to apply for a job, right? So it's resume and not resume, right? So resume is to continue, resume is what you use to apply. Awesome. So I hope you found this informative. I hope you learned something new. Make sure you pronounce these words correctly and use them in the right context. If you like the video, make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you check out the 30-day free trial at capshine.com or download the app. Thank you.